Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today, the boss. And I'm not talking Bruce Springsteen. And he's got the rundown.
It's 2004. What does the governor have up his sleeve for this year? There's no legislative session. And with all these taxes coming in, is he going to return some of them to us? Sam?
And coming up on the Pundit panel today, Marlene, Lockard, Keith Lee, Dick Gammick, and Martha Gould. A busy show. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino, lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
There's only one person in the Silver State who goes to his car in the morning and sees the license plate number 1, and he's our guest today, Nevada Governor Kenny Guinn. Pleasure to have you here, Governor.
Good morning, Sam. Andy,
Good morning,
how are you two doing today?
Great.
Oh, pretty good. Listen,
Great.
Governor, we're seeing that the tax revenues are coming in at a higher rate than was thought of. And we just raised all of these taxes that go into effect this month. Are you going to return some money to us?
Well, that's a very complex question, but without me going into great detail, just let me say the money is coming in higher than projected by the Economic Forum for the sales tax. It's about double, up to about 10% versus about 5%. On the other hand, gaming, where we get 50% of our money at 6.75%, is at 1.5% versus the 5%. So when you cross those out, we have to be very careful about how we spend our money until we know the actual figures. But I will say, in a positive vein, the economy is getting better. We have been nationally much better unemployment-wise compared to the rest of the country, and we're getting even better, and so is the rest of the country. So the economy is making a comeback, and that's very good for us overall in the state of Nevada.
The public's obviously trying to help you by shopping as much as they can.
Absolutely. Shopping is great, but we must all remember that the state gets 2% of the 6.25% sales tax. And so we get 50% of our money from that methodology. So when it goes up, we only get 2%. But when it's not doing so well, we get 6.75% of all the gaming gross. And that's why it could have an adverse effect on our schools. But hopefully, with the economy continuing, I'm very optimistic, and we're just watching how we spend the existing money we have.
And looking at the growth, especially in southern Nevada, it looks like you're going to have to rename the state bird the crane.
Yeah, I used that the other day. I had to apologize to the great bird of Nevada, but you're right. There's a lot of additions going on, and that's helping very, very much. The other thing that's helping tremendously in the sales tax area is truly the car sales, because when you can buy a car at no interest rate, more people buy. And they should, because there's no interest rate. And why would you go in and pay your cash, or why would you go in and say, I want to pay interest? But when they say, come on in and buy it at zero interest, it's a very good deal, and more people are taking advantage of that. It's a smart thing to do if you need a car.
Let's change subjects a little bit here. Kind of a conversion of various topics that have been appearing on the show recently. We had a Nye County commissioner in here and a member of the economic development group in Nye County talking about the fact that they would like to see some benefits from what they feel is inevitable with Yucca Mountain. They've already gotten a considerable amount of money in the bank, I believe about $30 million, with another $50 million promised over the next 5 years. And now that the government has released this railroad plan to put in a track through Caliente and to come in to the south of Tonopah, they're saying that not only could it be used to transport nuclear waste, but it could also be used for economic development in the rural counties. On yesterday's show, Senator Townsend was talking about the need for us to secure the water rights and mineral rights that are along these routes. What are your feelings on this?
Well, of course, it's not an unexpected position that the government finds them in now, looking at a railroad transportation area. They've been doing that for quite some time. We've been advised and been working and certainly know everything about both of the routes. And we haven't objected to them yet, but eventually we will look at it, and the state of Nevada, the governor, still gets to decide, should it happen, the transportation route has to come through the office of the governor, no matter who's there. And I think when you still look at the polls, and you want to try to listen to the masses of the people, and whatever you're doing, not always make your decisions and hard decisions, but the polls are still up around 76, 78% of the people saying we don't want it. Now, when you say more of them are thinking today that we're probably going to get it, they just don't know if it's going to be 2010, 2015. But at some point, I think that's going to come to a conclusion. What I'm attempting to do through the court process is to be sure that we're in the very best position we can be in. We're a small state, and of course California wants to ship all of their nuclear waste here, and somebody on the East Coast wants to take the large plants, and you can just see in Maine they've had a terrible problem where they don't have good control over the nuclear plants. So if that's the case, we just want to be sure that we get ourselves in the very best position, and the way you do that is to have a good court case. And so far, I think Brian Sandoval and the team that's been put together is doing an outstanding job. And we have to wait and see where we come out on it. But it's a long race. This is not a short race.
They actually go to court next week, the 14th,
yes,
in Washington, D.C., and it's all 5 cases they're being argued, right?
Right.
Now, what happens if we lose?
Well, if you lose, you got some appeal routes, but you might not have them as much, but then we have to back up and take a look at it. But I don't think we're going to. I think that you can already see the Department of Energy is backed off of a number of their positions. Other agencies are starting to say, wait a minute, this hasn't been conclusively proved that it's safe. And there's a number, certainly a myriad of issues that have not been satisfied. And I think when you get into court, an impartial individual such as the judges, the 3-panel judges going to sit there, are not under the guise of anyone in Washington, D.C. or the White House or anyplace else. And they're going to say, we want these areas cleared up. And if they're cleared up, then that's what we're looking for, is to have clarity for the people of Nevada.
Out of those 5 cases, we only need to win 1, is that right?
Right. If you have 1, you're in good shape to move ahead, and believe me, the team is doing an excellent job, and we believe in the system. If we go there and we lose, then we have to abide by what those rules are.
So the word inevitable is not in your vocabulary?
No, it's not. I do believe that as time goes on that you're not going to see this in the year 2010, because already they've had tremendous cuts in the dollar allocations. They're having disagreements amongst the federal government departments that are regulatory over them, and so we're just going to have to wait and see. But Nevada's playing, I think, as we would say, our cards very well at this time.
And we'll take a break. We'll be right back with the governor after this timeout.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And we're proud to be here with the governor of the great state of Nevada, Kenny Guinn. Pleasure to have you here, as always. During the holiday weekend, a story was leaked via the newspapers, the national press, that there was a terrorism alert for Las Vegas. There were denials from the state. What was the real story now that it's over?
Well, we absolutely had no specifics, and the reason that that's important to understand, and the other thing that we need to clarify, is certainly Las Vegas had been mentioned in the chatter, and the chatter is coming and being picked up by the intelligence of America and all over the world, and they pull it. They're doing a much, much better job today than they were long before 9/11 in 2001. So you have to pay attention to that, and there were about 8 cities or so that were named, and primarily because they're destinations of some sort, large gatherings, and certainly Las Vegas is in that on New Year's Eve. And about a week later, after we had been mentioned as Las Vegas, it was mentioned that New Year's Eve. They didn't say New Year's Eve, but we call it New Year's Eve because they said December the 31st. So right. That's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's to us.
And so we, by certainly just moral standards and our own good faith with the Homeland Security in Washington, D.C., they came out. We met with Jerry Bussell and our people. We all came together with Sheriff Young in the South. And we really, I think, did a great job of coordinating our efforts that we've been working on, put it in place, and the government came out and said, this is often enough, and we think it's been collaborated enough that we think it's necessary, but you have to decide how you're going to do it. And they're paying for those expenses. That's how much they've changed in Washington. They can verbally tell you that they will pay for that overtime and the staff, but no specifics.
Excuse me, so you didn't have a specific. What if they had given you a specific? What if they said, we really think the Strip may be bombed New Year's Eve? Would you then have advised tourists to leave?
Well, what happens if you get specifics, time, place, methodology, etc. There's a number of things that make up specific. You automatically go to Code Red in that particular location. It might not be for all of America, but you will go to Code Red. Code Red then, generally speaking, means you go through cancellations, you go through a whole different program as if it's happening to you at the very moment. And so we're very careful to make sure that and they're tough decisions to say how much is specific. But if you don't have some of those other areas, and it's not collaborated by what they would consider truthful information that's coming through, and they protect that intelligence very, very carefully, because if you don't watch out and it gets back to the right people, these people don't exist anymore. And so they were very good, and they cannot give
So
you that specific.
You felt, though, they gave you as much information as they had.
I think that they did. Actually, on Christmas Eve, about 11:30 in the morning, I got a call at home from Secretary Ridge, and we talked specifically about it, and he indicated to me, which I think is a pretty important issue when someone will take the time to call you personally. Now, we've known each other from our serving as governors while he was in Pennsylvania. But he did say, if we get anything that's any different than what we have right now that would lead to a specific, I will call you personally. And so, believe me, we stayed by the phone, and there are secure lines and et cetera, because you're trying to protect everybody on the other end. So I think it worked out well, but I do believe that it's important for us to go back now and recount everything that took place, how we worked with the sheriff. And by the way, for the protection of the Nevada citizens, the United States government, through Homeland Security, brought in the latest scanning equipment scientifically for radiation, bioterrorism, et cetera. That's how they picked up, in one particular case, a little isotope from a 1950s plus medical piece of equipment that was in a storage facility, and it picked it up. And they can do this by surfing, we call it, through your community with vans, et cetera, but they also have it in the air. And all of that equipment was on loan to us, as well as 7 or 8 other cities that were in that high population, high activity area. So we're very thankful for the coverage that we got.
Indeed. Let me change subjects on you again. With all the money that you approved for the university system, how do you feel about the way the president of the Southern Nevada Community College is being treated? And you're a former member of
Right.
Well,
that
you
group.
were a president of UNLV, $1 a year.
Yeah, I was a volunteer, so they couldn't dismiss me very well. I was really a volunteer. But I'm very concerned anytime in this great country of ours, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector, that people do not get due process. That bothers me immensely. I believe it's a mistake when a person who is accused doesn't have an opportunity to express themselves. A person who is accused of murder gets to go through a trial. They get to go through appeals. But the president of Southern Nevada Community College, Ron Remington, I've known him for a long time, and I think he's a man of quality, a man of character, and they do serve at the pleasure, but someone should have brought him in, and they should have had a chance to record and to let them hear what their story is. And that's the devastating
Their
part of
attorneys
this.
say that because they're a separate branch of government, that due process doesn't apply to them. If you get a bill from the legislature that would change the Board of Regents, make it appointed and change it constitutionally, would you sign it?
Absolutely. I said that last year. Instead, it got increased. But I do believe that there will be a great deal of focus on the system, because they are a separate body, so to speak, but it's a separate body that's allocated money in large sums of dollars into categories that the state doesn't have that flexibility. But that's another issue over here, the issue of a Board of Regents saying they can go around your chancellor and they can do certain kinds of things. It would be like me moving around and saying I'm going to terminate somebody that works for a department head. You just don't go through that process. You go through the process that allows a person to be able to present their case. And when you serve at will, then you should have the right to be able to present your case, to argue in front of your accuser. And because I don't believe anybody that goes out and does an investigation and gives 1,000 pages is going to be 100% correct when you can go there. There needs to be some explanation between the lines. And I don't know all the people that well. I happen to know Ron Remington and worked with him while he was in Elko, and he's been an outstanding employee, and he certainly at least deserves to be heard, without a doubt.
Governor Kenny Guinn, thank you so much for being here. You know that you are always welcome on this program.
Yes, we have to have him back to talk politics. We didn't get to politics.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have an exceptional pundit panel for you today. As always, Dick Gammick is with us. He's the Washoe County District Attorney. Martha Gould is Washoe County Democrat. Keith Lee, Attorney. And Marlene Lockard, Capital Strategies. Let's start out. We only have about 5 minutes here, so I want to kind of jump right in. When the governor was talking about the security over New Year's Eve, did we react appropriately, do you think?
Yes, I think that that is a very difficult spot to be in as a major tourism destination. If you overreact, you're going to have everyone fleeing Las Vegas, and that is, you know, our lifeblood with our economy. So I think the way it was handled was just perfect under the circumstances, and it demonstrated what a success, you know, additional security, and things went very well.
Dick, how do you feel?
Well, I think they made a great decision. You've got to get the facts. Once you get the facts, understand what's going on, then make your decisions. I think by just basically stopping everything and then going back to the federal folks and saying, what do you have, and then analyzing that, then they can prepare for it. And like Marlene said, it went very, very well, considering the crowds and everything else. It was a very good New Year's.
Sure. I mean, nothing happened, and I think you can certainly suggest that nothing happened because of the heightened security. So I think it was terrific.
You know, part of the whole move with the terrorists is the attempt to disrupt how we live. And the fact that it really is not working very well on the part of the terrorists speaks well for how we are handling things here. You know, threats are threats, but you don't act on threats until you have hard fact. And that goes back to having good intelligence.
The one thing they've been very successful at, however, is costing the United States an astronomical amount of money. Moving to the high level and all of the added security that goes into place is very costly for this country. And so they can get some satisfaction just out of...
Well, I think that's when we look at how it has hit our economy. Because money that goes to security is taken away from education, from health and human services. So there is a disruption there, and I think a very serious one.
I'm not sure it's been taken away at this point. I think we've just added on to the bill.
Right. Well, that growing deficit.
Yeah, we have a rising deficit.
There is one positive
point
out of this under the administration. What's happened is you now have a lot of the federal agencies who never used to talk to each other are now talking to each other. We're getting a database put together that works in the system, not everybody playing their own little cards close to the chest.
And more importantly, Dick, is the federal agencies are now talking to the state agencies, and
I
that's what's most important.
absolutely agree. I think one of the most costly things in government at all levels are turf issues and the stovepipes that have been built up over the years. That is a subject for an entirely show all on its own. But that is a very expensive cost to the taxpayers that many of whom are unaware of the duplication.
We only have a couple of minutes left here. I just want to go back because it just seems to me that over the last few weeks, to me, there's been more and more of an inevitability of the nuclear waste system, at least, being built in the state. Am I correct, or am I missing something here? Marlene, you fought the good fight for a long time.
And I have not changed my opinion one iota. Just yesterday in Las Vegas, there was an article, the NRC, saying they had not responded properly to the questions that had been posed from the committee. And so you see time after time the safety issues being compromised and tried to be glossed over.
I guess that's my point, is that they're being glossed over and things are moving ahead.
But, well, no, I think it was very encouraging to see the NRC say, wait a minute, folks, you have not answered our questions. That wasn't the state of Nevada saying you haven't answered our questions. So,
but Marlene, will that slow anything down?
Well,
I think it's inevitable.
I have to tell you, we started this fight in 1983 when Dick Bryan took office. This was one of the first issues, and this is now 2004. And it was inevitable in 1983. I think we've done a very good job.
I'm not sure that it's inevitable.
Okay.
What I think we have to look at from a national point of view is a coordinated plan, strategic plan, on how we're going to handle all this nuclear waste. But I don't think they're going to succeed in shafting Nevada.
Dick, you got like 5 seconds.
Well, I've said time and again I thought it was inevitable, but listening to Brian Sandoval talk about it and the way he lays it out, it's got me questioning now whether or not it is going to be inevitable. He's really knowledgeable in this area.
Okay,
and it's a good man to be back there.
It's going to be a while before we glow. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Coming up tomorrow, is Nevada's beef safe?
And we're going to talk about voting for your own pay raise like they did in Sparks.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.